I am obsessed.
Gotta know when to let go. Sometimes getting out can make it grow.
Hey girl, hey, it's your girl Jay and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, thanks so much for sliding through, and if you're returning, thanks for coming to Geek with your girl once more. Now you guys, I don't even know what to say. My hair looks absolutely amazing, so of course I'm going to come on here and show you how I done it, right? Like, who would I be if I didn't do that? So I do want to say thank you to Ywigs for sponsoring today's video. They did provide us with the 22-inch water wave bundles for our style today. When I tell you guys, this hair is it. This hair is it, okay? I have used many other brands. As you guys know, I am a full-time hair braider as well as a content creator, and so I get bundles from the beauty supply store, and not no more, never again. This hair really done it. It's not super expensive either, but the quality is unmatched. It's given I need this in tape-ins. I need this in clip-ins. Like, I just am so blown away with the quality. As you guys can see, the hair is already in my head and I'm astonished. So I do have a link in my description box in case you are wanting to get some for yourself. And again, thanks again Ywigs for sponsoring today's video. Now let's go ahead and get into the tea because I know what y'all came here for. So my braids are going to be considered SMEDIUM knotless boho braids, and so the look that I was going for today was more of a light and airy feel. So these braids are not heavy at all. It almost feels like I don't even have anything in my head, and it also is very full with curls, so I wanted it to be very full this time. If you are looking for something that's a little bit less full, more braids and less human hair, then I do have a video that I will have linked up here the last time that I done the boho knotless braids with less human hair. But this one, I wanted it to look more boho than it did last time, and when I tell you, I'm just so blown away with the results. First, let's get into the products and things like that you're going to need. First and foremost, you are going to want to make sure that you have a freshly washed and blown out head of hair. Not washed your hair 3 days ago, like washed your hair 45 minutes ago. That is how you are going to have the best results, and blow your hair out straight. That is also going to help make it easier when it's time to part and braid your hair. I recommend definitely having a couple combs around. Ywigs did provide me with a comb to use today, and it's very sturdy. I recommend a braider's comb. As you see, it has the space in the front, which makes it easier for parting. It has a very sturdy rat tail as well, so I definitely love the comb that they provided today. And then also, if you're not familiar with feeding in the human hair, I recommend maybe a crochet needle. That's also going to be helpful. Ywigs did also provide a crochet needle as well, but you can get them from like your local beauty supply store. I have a 3-way mirror, which will be linked in the description as well, which makes it easier when you're parting your own hair, just so you can see a little bit better. I remember back in the day, I used to be holding that mirror up and just propping it up on everything. The 3-way mirror makes everything so much easier. And then a braiding rack, which you don't have to have. I used to line my hair up on the back of a chair, but the braiding rack just makes it a whole lot easier. Helps you cut down on the amount of time that you have to spend, like, you know, separating the hair. I just find that take that time out in the very beginning, and I promise you it's just going to be so much easier. And then of course the braiding gel. Now the braiding gel I'm going to be using today is a Magic Fingers braiding gel by Shine and Jam. This is my absolute fave. I'm going to actually be using the entire line for today's style. I actually have this this mousse as well, which smells amazing, but also is going to bring the curls really it's going to really bring the curls alive. I recommend having that anyway, just because it's going to help you refresh your curls and stuff like that. And then of course some braiding hair, and I'm just using 2 packs of the Rua 24-inch braiding hair. That is my go-to. Does not cut my fingers, and it separates easy, and it is already pre-stretched. Also, I recommend that you have like a dipping bucket. I have a dipping bucket that I got from Dollar General, or a pot, because let's be clear, for a long time I was using a pot. And so yeah, that's pretty much what you're going to need to get started. I do have everything linked down below just in case you need something for reference to go by. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video now, because I know what y'all came here for. I already know. I try to make this so fast. Let's go ahead and get into it.
So before you get started, this is how you're going to want your hair to look after you've blown it out. As you see, I'm setting up my three-way mirror. Now this is going to help with seeing the entirety of my head. Now my parting method is going to vary just because I do want smaller braids. I'm going to be doing brick layering. And that is exactly what it sounds like, brick layering, almost like the window effect. So each braid is going to fall in between two other braids. So as I'm sectioning and going all the way up my head, you're going to see that at the bottom you see I split it into two, and then this one is going to go into one, and I'm going to repeat that as I go up my entire head. And it's going to be 2 rows on the bottom and 5 rows going all the way up to the top.
So I did a rough draft on the parts. So my hair is parted, but I'm gonna go now with the gel to redefine those parts and then separate for our first row.
So as you see, the gel just really helps define the part. It leaves for a more clean finish, and I just love that. So as you see, the back of my neck looks actually crazy. I have these 3 mountain peaks. So what I recommend is just putting some gel up on the back of it and scooting it up with the back of your comb. That's going to help make it easier to grip when it's time to start braiding.
Caterpillar turned into a butterfly. I'm on the grass, it's always greener on the other side. And we gon' make it out the struggle, though we traumatized. I used to take this life for granted.
So now we're just going to separate the hair. This is going to be the size of each piece of hair that I put on each sprig. Not only does separating the hair in advance cut down on time, but it also helps you achieve a uniform braid.
And so now we're going to get into separating the actual human hair. And one thing I love about this hair is it is thick all the way through the top, so you know that you're not going to lose any of the hair. That is the difference between buying the hair already like this or buying it if it was just cut off of a weft, because when you cut it off a track, you're going to lose a lot of the hair.
So my process for adding the hair into the braids is pretty simple. You're going to braid your hair just like you would if you were going to do a plait. So I start with that, and then once I get to an appropriate time, I start adding in the braiding hair. And so since I want these braids to be the same size, I do the same thing for each braid. I'm adding in 6 pieces of the braiding hair, and then about midway through I add in some of the human hair. Now I'm going to do a short tutorial on how I actually add in the human hair. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the human hair and wrapping it around my finger, my index finger there, and then I'm hanging it to the side so that it doesn't get mixed up. Now this little strand here, this is what we want braided in. Now you want to have a good inch or 2 in the braid so that way you don't have to worry about it falling out. And so then you're just going to braid down like normal, just keeping that extra hair to the side. So unfortunately, I'm not able to reach to the side of my head like I am to the back, so I do a bit of a overhand braid on the sides. As you see, I just try to pull it as tight as possible. I was debating on whether I wanted to leave out some sideburns, but I said I'm just going to put them away since they'll eventually come out anyway. So as you see, I'm just pulling it tight, braiding more with my knuckles than with my actual fingers. And once I get to an appropriate length, I go ahead and flip it around because I am a much better underhanded braider than I am overhanded, and then I'm just going to wrap the hair around just like I did with the human hair. So being that the hair in this part of my head is thinner than others, I'm not actually going to count how many pieces I've added in. I'm just going to keep on adding until I reach my desired thickness. And this is important to know as well, because not all areas of your head are going to need the same amount of hair. Some might need 6, some might need 10. You just want to make sure that you're filling to make sure that they all have the same like kind of uniform thickness.
So far we are about 2.5 hours in. I'm a little behind. I normally average about 15 to 17 braids every single hour, so I'm a little bit behind. But I think it's really just because I'm starving. I'm starving for one, and then also just I'm making these a little bit longer than I normally do, so that's going to contribute to it as well. But so far so good. It's looking really good.
Shades on my eyes so you can't see my face. You right behind me trying to keep the pace. Just one more block until I meet in place. I got someone but we ain't been okay. Is it really cheating if it's only for the weekend? Tell me if I'm tweaking, girl, cause we ain't even speaking, girl. Both of us be cheating, so why we still be linking? So tell me what you thinking, girl, and I'll see you this weekend. Let's get secret, sleeping all the weekend, sleeping till the evening. I don't like you leaving. Let's get secret, dying just to dying for no reason, creeping on the weekend. Let's get secret, creeping on the weekend, sleeping till the evening. I don't like it creeping. Let's get secret, dying just to creeping, dying for no reason, creeping on the weekend. Let's get secret, creeping on the weekend, sleeping till the evening. I don't like it creeping. Let's get secret, dying just to creeping, dying for no reason, creeping on the weekend.
As you see, as we're getting closer and closer to the top, we're just adding more of the human hair just to create like a more fullness. If you want your ratio to be more like braids than hair, then I wouldn't recommend adding the braiding in hair in at the top so much, because it is going to be more full. But that's kind of what I'm going for. Like, I'm going for a more like exaggerated boho effect. Like, I want it to basically look like I have bundles in my hair with a couple braids, rather than having braids with a couple, you know, pieces of hair. And so I just added a piece right here. So I have a piece right there, and I have one more towards the root as well. So in these parts closer to the top of my hair, my aim is to have about 3 to 4 pieces of the human hair added per braid. And so the trick to being able to do this without looking in the mirror the whole time, because there's no mirror in front of me. I have a mirror here, but there's no other mirror in front of me. The trick to that is just filling. Like, you have to be able to fill, and that is why I say that this human hair is so tea, because you can actually feel the hair. So what I do is I put it behind, and then I kind of just throw it over my shoulder so it's out the way, and then I just twist it around. And you can feel, like this part here, it feels like it almost has it feels like it has like holding spray or something on it that makes it like different from the rest of the pieces. And I swear, I just cannot explain why that's such a good thing, but it is such a good thing. I'm just pleasantly surprised, not even gonna lie. And so I don't know if you noticed, but when I'm braiding, each braid I add 6 pieces, and towards the back, since I am kind of short, I was adding the 6 pieces all at one time. But now that I'm more towards the front, I'm actually adding 3 pieces in the top, and then I count down to 20. I'll add like a piece of human hair in the middle, but then I'll count down to 20, and then I'll add my other 3 pieces. We're at 4 hours so far. I'm not meeting my goal of 7 hours. I just don't see it happening, but we're gonna keep going. As long as we beat the sun, that's all that matters. Yeah. It's looking so good so far. We are about 7 hours in. I don't know why I make these so small, but you know what? I'm optimistic. We don't have long left. I thank God that we pre-parted ahead of time, because if we didn't pre-part, I just don't know where we would be right now. So let's go ahead and get back to it. This is what I mean by 4 pieces on each braid. it's about to be so full, and I just love that. So I went ahead and took the liberty of going ahead and parting my hair right down the middle. This part is so important. You want it to look like God literally parted it himself, okay? So we're gonna start on this side first. So I'm gonna go ahead and clip up the other side. And as you see, I went ahead and separated the curls from the braids just because I was really just thirsty to do that. All right. So I went ahead and kind of like pre-parted, but I anticipate that we're gonna have about 4 braids here. I would love for it to be 5, but I don't want it to look all crazy. We're gonna have 4 braids here, and then there's like a little half circle here that I think we're gonna have about 3 braids there. So let me show you how I got the last braids. So the part here, that's too big. Here is a part. We're gonna dab some gel. Not too much. Dab some gel. We're gonna twist so that it's out the way. And then, oh wait, no, that's too small, in fact. There we go. Right there. Add some gel. So you see, it's kind of like the same kind of thing, and we still have our brick layer there. And then this is the last one. So that's how I got to the 4 braids here. And so I just don't want them to, I don't want my parts to mess up. So every other braid, I'm just going to, you know, do that. So on the top, on the braids on the top, and this is going to be only for the braids on the top, I want it to be really boho. Like I want to add a lot of pieces of hair on the top. So instead of adding 6 pieces of braiding hair in the top, I'm going to add 3, and then I'm going to add a whole lot of the human hair. And you guys, this human hair is so, when I tell y'all, the quality of this hair is like next level. And the reason being is because typically when I'm doing a client's hair and I get to this part, like you have like the frayed parts and stuff. It looks really frayed, you see, because the ends are blunt. But being that it has that like textured feel on it that I told y'all, like it just sticks together. Like it doesn't, like, I don't know how to explain it, but I'm gonna show you guys. I actually have, you know what? I'm gonna go get some other hair. Okay, so this is a very popular brand of, I guess, 100% natural virgin human hair that you'll find in most beauty supply stores. Now it comes on a track, so you have to cut it off yourself. But do you see like what it looks like? Like it's, and then you have so much shedding that you get there. Like you get so much shedding. Whereas look at this. This is also blunt, but it's like really tacky, and you get like no shedding. It's literally no shedding. So you get your money's worth. Like, I'm telling you, I'm never using that other brand on my clients ever again. Like, never. Okay, so let's go ahead and get down to the nitty-gritty because I know what y'all here for. And since we are at the top, you want it to be very uniform. As you see, I'm adding the hair in at the root. And really quickly here, I'm going to show you what it would look like if I was using that brand hair that I get from the beauty supply store. You're going to be able to see how it looks when you have to cut the hair off of the weft yourself versus the hair that I received. Not only is this supposed to be 20 inches, this is supposed to be 20 inches of hair here. Watch how it frays. And this is supposed to be 20 inches of hair. Do you see? You see how it sticks out? And it frays. And you don't want that. Really quick, I'm just separating the curls from the braids because we're gonna dip the braiding hair. And remember, if your hair is long like mine, don't put your natural hair in boiling hot water. That is the best way to break your hair off, sis. you're gonna burn them cuticles right up. So I just separated the braids from the curly hair just because I'm going to dip the braids. The curly hair, even though it's human hair, I'm just not going to dip it because I just really don't find it necessary. And I do want the ends to be curly, so I'm going to put my rollers on the ends. But just at the top, I don't want the ends to be curly like all the way around. I do want some straight pieces just because, I don't know, I just do. So I changed my mind. I actually do want curly ends. So I went ahead and wrapped these up like this. I'll do it again just so you guys can see. As you may know, you may want to have a towel and just be careful, go slow, it's no rush. I'm going to take my towel.
No bullshit, no lie, I swear I'll try to give you my everything. Baby, can't you turn a blind eye? Let it slide, let it slide. Look the other way this one time. Let it slide, let it slide.
So I'm going in with the Shine and Jam mousse, and you guys, it smells amazing. It just makes my hair feel so good. It's adding like the perfect sheen, laying everything nice and flat, and it's gonna make these curls at the top really pop too. Wow. We are really gonna oil up. And this is why, if you are a person who's here because you want to learn, get your data pan, this is why we ask that clients come with no oil or anything in their hair, because we add it in the end. Like, we really add it in the end. And it looks like a lot of hair, but it really is so light and airy. Like, it's super duper light and airy. Oh my gosh, it just looks so good. And of course, side parts. The quality of this hair is next level, and I don't ever want to use any other hair from my BOHO Knotless Braids anymore. Just look. My edges, I'm just gonna go on with the Lotta Body, just because I feel like it really helps moisturize your edges. I could have used that other setting lotion that I just used, but Lotta Body is like my go-to when it comes to like my edges and stuff like that. I don't play around. Y'all, tell me this doesn't look fire. I am obsessed. Ah! Like, do you see how like neat the parts are? They are super neat. Ooh, I cannot wait to go on vacation.